Hello, it's me, Joe. Always, it ain't no one looks exactly like me. Well, anyway, this is a children's story that I wrote. I want all of you children that's online, iPhone, Facebook, or the internet. I want you all to see this. Mr. Ain't the Hero, a story you will understand, and this is good also for the adults. They enjoy it. They enjoy it. They even said they enjoy it. It was written in a book, and it can be written in a book. We have a book on it. But this is put on the video so you can hear it. It's a simple. And these steps, and then at the end it's compared with the real spiritual meaning of what it relates to. But this story, it starts. Mr. Ain't the Hero. You see, Mr. Ain't, yes, he was a red ain't. Smart as he could be. He always wanted to counsel, give good suggestions to the ones in his colony, which you know of as an ain't bed. Well, he had his group. He wasn't the king or the queen ain't or nothing, but he loved to advise. He wasn't special. I don't call him that. Well, he advised his group, his colony, which you know what I call it now, the ain't bed, the colony. Oh, he advised his colony. He said, we're going to go down toward the field. There's a big field out there. Done been plowed up. Everything was looking good. Rich field. We're going out there. And we'll make us an ink bed toward the edge of the field. Okay. So they got there. He assisted them. He worked with them. He talked with them. And then he, excuse me. And then he instructed how to make it their tunnels, how they'd go through their channels, making the ink bed, getting everything together, giving them the instructions that would have been good, and they depended on him because they knew he was wise, he was smart, he loved to be like a leader. Well, they was fixing it, they got it all together, was getting it all together, and then he decided he was going to take a stroll. Well, I'm going to go out for a while, he said. I'm going to go across the field and see how everything is. Okay. We call that good exercise too, I guess. So Mr. Ain't, he made his travel. His name was Mr. Red. Mr. Red, a great advisor. So Mr. Red crawled across the humps that's been plowed up and everything. Crawled across the humps of dirt and got over toward the edge of the field where the bushes was. It's a big, big place where the bushes, a few trees is growed up. Well, there toward the side of the field, there was he saw a white truck pull up. He was looking, and then another white truck behind him, pickup, pulled up behind him, and a man got out of the first pickup, or truck, you might call it, got out of his truck. And then the truck that pulled up behind him, the man got out of his truck. And they met each other side the road, and they were talking, discussing the circumstances, what's necessary, what is good. Mr. Ain't, Mr. Red, I call him. So Mr. Red, he was listening. You see, Aints can hear a long way off, you know. But still, he wanted to get closer. So you heard them discussing, talking about things. Well, see, Mr. Red liked to keep up with what's going on. And so he crawled up further, got up closer to where he could catch more of the words of exactly what they were saying. And the man that cut out of the second pickup, which was behind the first pickup, said to the other fella as they was talking together, well, I tell you what, he said, the man said these words. In a few weeks, I'll be back, and I'll spray the field with poison that would kill the insects. Mr. Red heard that. Man, I need to report this. We got to get out of here. You see, their colony was still in the field part. So that would be a chance for them if they would be sprayed too. So Mr. Red wanted to take care of his own colony, his own people. He loved them all so much. With haste, he started crawling back to where he came from, getting back to where his people were. I'll start calling it their ain't bed, right? So he got getting to their ain't bed. He told them all. He said, "We got to get out of here." I start wondering what? We got to what? We just about finished fixing everything. The column where you was telling us, advising us to make our channels and stuff underground, and you telling us we got to go? Yes, we got to get out of here because the man is coming in about 2 weeks. He's gonna spray this field he's gonna take his tractor, he's gonna come down the field and spray it to kill the insects. Make sure that no insects is there. And we're at the very end part of this field. We got to get out of here or they'll spray us too. And you all die. We got to get out of here. I'm telling you, advising you. We got to go. We got a 2 weeks extension. We can do it. And over there, he said, over there to the woods. Yeah. We're going to make our travel. We're going to all go and get over to the woods. We're going to build our own. Bill, you ain't been. Oh, a lot of them agreed. Some of them didn't. Didn't take him serious. They took him as a phony. They went along with what they was doing. They had a good time. They didn't listen to what Mr. Red had said. And so they didn't really take it serious. But a lot of them did. Or they say, yeah, there was quite a few that did. So they got their stuff together. They made their journey. Oh, they'd be able to get there within 2 weeks' time. They had that extension because the man had said within 2 weeks we'll be back with my tractor to spray the field. Ain't poison. bug, insect poison, you might say. It don't make no difference what kind of, whether ants, grasshoppers, or what's in the field, they're going to die. But no matter what kind of bugs they were, that would kill them. Well, this was in the ant bed. The ant bed in the colony, which is understood. I'll explain it to you later. But first, they made their journey. They went, it was that way, they went to the woods, that side. On the right-hand side of the field was the woods they would be making it. They'd have to climb up a kind of a higher elevation to get over in that way to where they were going, but they could make it. And so they made their journey. Got into the woods, he looked, says, well, we got enough of us here. We got enough of us here. We can make it. We can make the ant bed. We can do what we got to do. So they found a good spot there in the woods, and they started making their ant bed. Digging down, making their channels. Well, it all turned out that, like I said, a lot of them didn't listen, and they didn't go. They didn't take Mr. Red serious. Okay? They'll have to serve the consequence, right? Now that's in the bed, that's in the bed, the housing of where they were located. The colony, the ant bed. That's where they were. In the field. Now, of course, there's other insects out there too. Of course, I know that. But this was their section. Well, getting back to the story, after the ants had got to the woods and had done what they had finished, they did a good job. Well, Mr. Red, he got to himself, he climbed up on a limb in the woods, on a leaf. He looked way over the ant bed. He looked way over there. 2 weeks had passed now. He looked way out there over on the field, a far distance. And guess what? He saw the tractor coming down the field, spraying the poison. He almost cried. That was my people there that didn't go with us. And they're gonna be killed. They didn't listen to what I had told them. They didn't witness to my advice. They're gonna be killed. They're gonna die. They're gonna be. But there's nothing I could do, he said to himself. Speaking to himself, I did what I could do. They made their choice to stay there, so they're gonna have to die now. Mr. Ant, or Mr. Red, I said so. He almost, turning around, he almost cried. He kind of felt broken-hearted over it. But that was bad. Now, like some of these ants was nice size ants. They done their part. They were instructors to a point. But Mr. Red was a real good, was a head instructor. The other ants, they done what they did. Mr. Red would tell them what to do to their instructors, and their instructors would tell their laborers, how the advice was given. So you see, really, Mr. Red was like a leader in a way. So he was the hero, right? If he hadn't have done what he did, if he hadn't have told them, if he had to give them advice and set them up, got them started, you see, they wouldn't have known that this was going to happen. None of them would have known it. if Mr. Red hadn't come back and told them what was going to be taking place in 2 weeks. If he hadn't told them that, they would have died. They wouldn't have known what was going to happen. Well, now we get to the spiritual side. But let me say first, after Mr. Red had said what he did to the people, they were in the woods, they had their ain't bed, and they lived happily ever after. They had their own say-so. They was all happy because they were safe. Well, now we're getting to the spiritual side. Who made it possible for us to know that we would be free? As Mr. Red was a hero to his people. Well, if Jesus hadn't come down and died on the cross for us and did what he did, we'd all die a devil's hell. He came and he advised us, do this, do that. I am the way, the only way. There's no other way to heaven but by me, he said. Therefore, I'll advise you, this is what you need. Accept Jesus, speaking of himself. Accept me as your Lord, and the Lord of your life. Follow after my ways. Seek my face. Worship, pray, read the word, and live the way I want you to live. I'll see that you get out of this mess, this field of poison, which is the world. Of course, there's others out there, other insects out there. They probably got killed. They probably died. Who are these spiritually? See, the colony is like the church world. The ones out there in the field is like the ones that's not in church and don't even consider church. They live in their own lives. They're not in the colony of the church. And then other advisors. Jesus was the great advisor, and the other smaller advisors is like the preachers that advises their laborers. You see, the ones that's in the world, the people that's in the world, they just gonna die anyway. They don't have church. They don't have Jesus. He's not their advisor. They're not in the group. They're gonna spiritually die with the poison that the devil has got for them, which is the place called hell. The lake of fire. Or God, I'll just say it this way. Some people say, well, hey, it's mentioned in the Bible. H-E-L-L. Using it as a profane, yes, it's wrong. But speaking of the place called hell, it's no problem. Bottomless pit, the lake of fire, or hell. There's no such thing as purgatory. It's not mentioned in the Bible. If it's not mentioned in the Bible, it don't exist. That's man-made laws, rules. Once the person leaves this world, they're done for. Either they're going up or they're going down. I want you to see that, down. Okay, I almost missed the picture, didn't I? Had it way over here, but I had to get it pretty. So much for that. It's good to have. God wants his people to have fun. I gotta say something good once in a while. It's no problem. But anyway, we are all. But you see, getting back to the point now. Getting back to the point. There is people in this world, says it, in the church world. They're not going to listen to what advice has been given. Even some preachers, we say, stand up against that which is evil. Say, we don't, we'll go along with you. We'll go along with you. We're not going to get involved with this standing up against that which is evil. We're not going to get involved with this. We'll go along with you. See, that's an excuse. That's the same thing as not getting involved. It's not going along with you either. These are preachers now. They say, yeah, we love the Lord. But when it comes to stand up against that which is evil, they said, we're not going to get involved with it. They're going to have to face God about it. These kind of preachers that has a form and a fashion, so we don't want to offend our group because they're getting their paycheck. Right? Their assembly. We don't want to offend them. You know why? They might not get the money they need. A lot of them will walk out and they won't get the money they need. Oh, well, I tell you, it's better. You hurt their feelings? Well, it's better to hurt their feelings than hurt God's feelings about you. The Lord will say, we thought you was going to stand up for what was right. But you didn't do it. Well, you see, they're going to have to face God about it. They're going to have to face God about it. I don't want to hear what the words of God has to say to them, or the Lord when he comes. As almost, you might consider that as the Lacedonia church, the church of our age. It's a fact. The ones that are true to the Lord, just like the ants that followed Mr. Red. See, Jesus is our great hero. He's like Mr. Red. The true believers will take notice and go out into the place where they'll be protected. We're not going to be going to the woods now. We're going to be going to heaven. Wherever he leads us, we shall go. Wherever he leads, I'll go. Amen. It's a song, and I love it. But so it is. The fact is, they're going to be a lot of them that's not going to make it. They're going to stay here. They're going to stay in their own way. They're going to do what they got to do. They don't believe. They don't take the word of God serious. And they'll die in their own mess. But so we got to remember this. Let's be ready and be found worthy. Let's not just take God's word serious. Let's live our, let's stand up for that which, against that which is evil. Let's stand up against it. That which is no good. But a lot of churches, they're standing still. They're sitting still on a, I won't say what it is. I'll say on their fanny, right? And they letting it sit. Whatever the White House wants to do, whatever they want to do up there in Congress, I ain't got nothing to do about it. Just, yes, you have. If you were bold enough, if the believers of God that really love Jesus was bold enough and stand up against that which is evil, even to the White House, say, we don't, this is God's country. We're supposed to, this is a Bible country. Yeah, I prefer the King James Version. Because I know it's true. I know it's just right. There's no words added or taken away. It's together like it's supposed to be. And it said, well, how will we have to have this and have that to understand the things of the Bible more. Yeah. Get your dictionary, a Bible study. Because the Lord said, study to show yourself approved unto God. Read it and concentrate. And God's Spirit, He said, my Spirit shall teach you all things, whatsoever I command you to do. He will let us know what these things mean. Let's let the Spirit of God get involved with our standing up against that which is evil. He'll be there to help us. He'll be there. The Spirit of God will lift up and do great things when we show our efforts to stand against it, that which is wrong. So let's be like the ants that followed into the woods. I'm looking the wrong way. Followed into the woods with Mr. Red. Let Jesus lead us out to heaven. So it is a great work that we got to think about. The church world. It's a fulfillment. But we can be one of the true believers. We need to stand up against that which is wrong. Well, I love you all now. That was our message.